Hey everybody, I'm Javeda Bay and welcome back to Toy Talk, my web series where I share my knowledge about all things sex toys with you so that way you can make the most informed decisions as you expand your toy collection or start it. And since it's back to school time and right now I'm focused on college students, today I want to talk about dorm friendly toys and just give you some things to consider and think about as you're shopping and packing to go away to college, or if you're already there and you're like, you know what, now's the perfect time to buy a sex toy. Here's what you might want to consider in a shared living situation like a dorm room. So let's get into it. First things first, when it comes to living in a shared space, if you have never done that before, communication is key. You are still allowed to enjoy your life the way you would even though you are in a shared living space. You just have to talk about it. And one of those things that should be a part of that conversation is sex toys. If you are already using them or you plan to use them, having a conversation with your roommate or roommates, if you're anything like me, because I lived in a dorm room with three other women. It was called a quad. It was four of us in one room, no walls. And so having a conversation is extremely important. Communicating like, hey, so I like to take care of myself. I like to get relaxed. I like to explore pleasure on my own terms. And I like to kind of have privacy when I do that. So what works best between me and you and to make this a feasible situation. So you're going to want to have a conversation in that regard. But then when it's time to actually consider the toys that you want to bring with you or that you want to purchase, there's some things that are probably good to keep in mind. So one, the noise level of a toy. Yes, you have your own room living in a dorm, but I promise you those walls are not as thick as you might think they are. So having a toy that is going to be a little bit more quiet is going to, one, give you peace of mind to actually be able to enjoy yourself and not think, oh my goodness, can everyone on my floor hear me right now? And also, if you happen to use toys when others might be in the room, be it that they're asleep or whatever the reasons, you're not going to wake them up because it's not a loud toy. So consider the sound of a toy. And if you're like, how do I know, really how loud it'll sound? The way I like to recommend is if you can, if it's not too hot, wear a sweatshirt when you go to purchase toys or when you're going to a sex shop. And then you can just stuff the toy underneath your armpit, while wearing the sweatshirt. Don't put it up your sweatshirt, but just underneath of it. So that way you can hear what it sounds like dulled by fabric, because more than likely you're under a blanket or your covers or a duvet or whatever. So that's a good way to test the sound level to see how loud it'll be. And if you're shopping with someone, you can actually send your friend a little further away from you to be okay, how can you still hear it, to get a better idea of how the noise travels, having to live in a shared space. So sound, something to consider. Other things to consider are going to be the actual power source. So I'm always going to recommend rechargeable toys. One, it's better for the environment because you're not having to buy batteries, but also batteries are expensive. So rechargeable toys are really great, and rechargeable toys that don't have to be plugged in are going to be even better, because when it comes to college dorm rooms, I don't know how they design them, but the outlets are never where you want them to be. And if you have toys that have to be plugged in for use, that means that you are there's few options in terms of where you can use a toy in your dorm room. So things that are rechargeable and cordless are going to be really, really, really great. Also, toys that come with their own storage, be it a storage bag or a storage container, but something to actually be able to store it in, because you don't want to just be leaving your stuff out in shared living situations or in general. It's better care if you're storing it safely, neatly. But you definitely don't just want to be leaving out your toys when you're in a shared living situation. So toys that come with things like that are also going to be a really good option. And also you're going to want to consider the size of toys. Obviously, if you have super giant dresser drawers and things of that nature, the bigger the better, I guess. But more than likely, you're not working with a lot of space in a dorm room. So choosing toys that are going to be a little bit more smaller or compact, or can be made to be compact, is just going to be a better move in the sense of making sure that it works in the space that you're in. So maybe don't go for a magic wand original. One, because it plugs into the wall. Two, it's actually pretty large. And three, it's actually pretty loud. But maybe consider like the magic wand mini, which is much smaller, doesn't have to be plugged in, it is rechargeable. Still a little bit more on the louder side, but if you can get over that, it works well. I'm not really going to give too many like specific recommendations today, but that's only because later this week I will be dropping my back to school shopping guide, which is focused all on like dorm friendly college level experience toys. So keep an eye out for that. But definitely make sure you consider like all of those components as you're shopping. And then also like the cleanliness piece. Like if you decide to get a toy and it is like a lot of components that have to be taken apart to be washed, that's a lot, because more than likely your dorm room situation is a shared bathroom situation. And do you really want to have to like set out the different pieces of your toys like in that bat? No, you don't want to have to do that. So also keep that in mind. So just as a recap, the big things to consider when it comes to toys that are going to be more dorm life friendly are going to be the noise level of them. Are they on the quieter side of things, or are they super loud? You really don't want the super loud. The size of them, are they compact? Can you actually put them away in like the limited space that you have in a dorm room? The actual power source, is it something that is rechargeable, or does it require batteries, or does it have to be plugged in for use? Because batteries and plugged in for use are really just going to cramp your style in college, I promise you. Because batteries truly are expensive. So keep those things in mind as you're shopping for toys. Also, if you can, go to an actual sex shop and check out toys, because buying your first vibrator without having ever felt the sensation of vibration, you can either be extremely overwhelmed or super duper underwhelmed. So like go into a store to actually purchase. And I mean a sex shop, don't go to Spencer's. Please. Please don't go to Spencer's. But if you're like, Javay, I just want your recommendations, keep an eye out on my social media this week, and I will let you know when that shopping guide is live on my website. And if you would like more specific, individualized recommendations, hit me up, because I do offer that as a service. Like I will meet with you, find out exactly what you like, and make an informed recommendation on those things. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, especially if you're an undergrad or about to start undergrad, because like there's so much information here that is going to be valuable for your experience. And definitely make sure you're following me on all the social media platforms, because I'm sharing everything, lots of different things on all the platforms. And definitely make sure you subscribe to my email newsletter, because they get everything first. They find out everything first. And if you want to be in the insiders club, that's what it is. But yeah, that's that. I'm gonna see y'all later. Deuces.